Sure.
Yeah. I can get through quite a bit of wine in 5 minutes. Don't worry.
Prove it.
I'm proving it.
All right, we are recording.
Nice.
We'll try to do this Facebook Live next time. But for now, folks,
You shut the door, please.
welcome to the first virtual wine tasting.
Yes, we are here.
Virtual in that none of us are in the same area.
Yeah.
We're being socially responsible.
Yes.
But the actual wine tasting is real, 100% real.
We all have the 17, I assume.
I think
Yeah.
That's the only vintage, right?
That is the only vintage currently.
So
Got the
we're
18
fortunate
coming
enough to
out
have
soon.
we're fortunate enough to have Steve Gage with us today for a few minutes. He's got to run, but he is with Moone Tsai. Steve, do you want to introduce the wine for us, please?
Yeah, so it's our first ever Pinot Noir. A little unusual because our winemakers from Bordeaux took a little bit to talk him into making a Pinot, as it turns out. But we're absolutely thrilled with it. From 2017, beautiful vintage. The vineyard is the Petaluma Gap, so southeastern corner of Sonoma County. A little cooler climate. What are you laughing at? It's the shirt, isn't it?
Big, just pouring and filling up his wine glass.
Look at that.
It never make it in the wine business.
You said we're doing a tasting.
Anyway, so yeah, we only made 200 cases of this. Pretty small production. As you guys know, most of it went to members. Obviously, some of it came home to my house. I've got to know the product. So
You do.
That's the story. Named after Larry and Marianne Tsai's younger daughter, who I believe some of you smoked in bocce ball a couple years
We
ago.
I did.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think
So-
she's
I've got the bottle up there on the shelf.
nice.
The
So-
winning bottle.
Steve, they had to name it after Corinne, right? Because Paige already had a wine.
Exactly. And the backstory is that Paige's wine was originally going to be called the Corinne Cuvée, but she's the very thoughtful daughter that wanted it to be named after her older sister because she looked up to her so much. And
Got it.
deferred. Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Hey, virtual
Cheers.
cheers. Boom.
Good nose on this, Steve.
It smells amazing.
Oh, I went right to tasting. Sorry. Mm.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, is
Philippe-
anybody eating
A
anything
Philippe
with
Melka
this?
knows.
No. This is
Steve, I'm
just,
so glad that you asked because in a few minutes I'm going to be cooking up these bad boys.
Oh, are those the new Beyond steaks?
No, they're Gibson's is doing a sale on their steaks, so you can pick them up. They're discounting them. You pick them up. They're cryovac. You can buy them, take them home and cook them yourself. So I figured,
wow.
nice bottle of wine deserves a nice steak. So we'll be enjoying that in a few minutes.
I was going to say that wine's going to be gone, though.
Well, I got 2 bottles of it.
Nice. Yeah. I'm not trying to one-up you, but I got a tomahawk in the fridge that's coming out here in a bit.
Let's see
Hey,
that,
I'm not
Steve.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'm going steak tonight too.
Yeah, you got to.
Couple
Like
ribeyes.
this.
We've already eaten dinner, so
All right, gentlemen. I don't want to sully this occasion, but that would be,
Look at that.
it's bigger than my head. That's about a 3.5 pound tomahawk.
that's a weapon.
It's-
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
tomahawk.
that's,
You should
So-
save that for when the purge happens soon.
I got 4 of them. So
Good.
just
Nice.
because I'm worried that if the purge doesn't happen this week, I might
It's
need one for
coming,
next
man.
week.
You might need
Yeah.
next week. That's right.
So what are you
Well-
guys tasting in this wine?
Mm.
If we're gonna do a tasting, let's talk about the wine.
Let's dive. Let's go deep dive.
So-
you mean talking about red meat isn't
Well, I think we should let people know. So Moone Tsai, obviously the majority of their wines are of the cab variety, right, Steve?
Absolutely.
So they're gonna drink very big, very bold, kind of punch you in the face Napa cabs. And this is such a nice change of pace in comparison to those wines. Preferably, I always lean cab. I always like the bigger, bolder stuff. But every once in a while, like when you're opening a bottle at, afternoon time, or now that we're in quarantine, like 9:30 a.m., you want to start with something a little lighter. And it's so delicate. And, I was trying to say earlier, Philippe Melka, who's the winemaker, is just a friggin' rock star, man. His wine, every wine I've had of his has just been unbelievably just balanced and perfect. Like I really hope the Tsai's never let him go anywhere.
Me too.
But yeah, that's what I love about this Pinot is that, I could still bust out a Moone Tsai midday and, not be on my ASS after a bottle. So it's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and it's got finesse to it, Steve. It's not it's not super light.
Right.
It drinks. A cab drinker is going to love this Pinot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know we obsessed over finding a Pinot vineyard that would not just honor the grape, but also our style of wine. It has to fit in the whole portfolio.
Yeah.
And I think it does balance in there nicely. It does have the weight you'd expect, but to your point, say the finesse that you're looking for in Pinot.
So is the plan
got that nice.
Go ahead, Pete. I was going to say, is the plan to keep sourcing the grapes from the same area?
Absolutely, yeah. The subsequent vintages are from the same vineyard and similar small production. It's always going to be one of our fun wines, not mainstream. Yeah.
Now,
anyway,
what's the response been from people on this? Have people been excited about the Pinot?
Yeah. Because it doesn't really replace another wine in the portfolio. It's just something extra to drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, like Sagi said, it's a nice balance. You've got Moone Tsai has a really good, really great several different types of the cab. They also have a Chardonnay that's one of my favorite Chardonnays. You said that this is the Pinot for cab drinkers. The Chardonnay is also the Chardonnay for people that don't like Chardonnays.
Yeah.
But I think I love Burgundy region wines. I was drinking a white Burgundy earlier. Like this has very subtle earthy tones, but it's still very silky smooth on the palate. It's really a beautiful wine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Page Cuvée, which we were talking about earlier, that Chardonnay is just lights out. And it is, it's one of those, you give it to somebody who, I have a friend who, not to name another winery, the only other Chardonnay he likes is Newton, the Newton Unfiltered. That's the only, and this and the Page Cuvée was the only other Chardonnay that he liked, period.
It's okay if you give Newton a plug. Just don't give him a plug.
Well, my wife, Sarah, is not a fan of Chardonnay at all, but she loves that Moone Tsai Chardonnay.
Well, since it seems as though we're all going to be doing this for a while, meaning sequestered in the kitchen, perhaps that should be the next wine we try.
Yeah.
The Page Cuvée.
Do that.
I've got a lovely cheese pairing that's just amazing with it. And,
Absolutely.
Because we're fancy. We deserve cheese too.
You're just going to have to send me a bottle because we drank through all of ours.
As long as FedEx is operating, you got a guy.
We can make that happen. I love it.
So I remember Straight No Chaser was up in Napa. I think we had a day off, so we decided to stop in Napa. And it was the first time that we went up to the Tsai's and, they hosted us. And I remember, Steve, you were there and you were like, what do you want to drink? I got the Chardonnay open and I was like, I don't drink Chardonnay. I don't really enjoy it. I've never had a good one or one that I like, with wine. I don't want to come across, there's a lot of pretentiousness when it comes to wine and tasting wine and liking wine and, dollar signs. Does it have to be expensive? Does it have to be cheap? Whatever. Like you like what you like. So if you like something that's $8 a bottle, that's amazing. Like dive in, buy cases of it. But I remember we were sitting there on the patio, and I was like, "Yeah, I just never really liked Chardonnay, not a big." And you're like, "No, you're gonna like this one." And then I woke up the next day because that was the last thing I remembered, and it was a very fantastic Chardonnay. It's so good, so good.
That's funny.
But I think, you know, I think someone hit me up on Instagram or something asking about, you know, a wine to recommend or something. And I think people get caught up in labels and, you know, if it has to be expensive, like I was saying before. And, you know, you see all the people that are tasting wine and like, oh, I taste, you know, a little bit of rubber garden hose and fresh tennis ball.
Fresh cut garden hose.
Yeah, fresh cut garden. Like, it doesn't have to be like that, you know. Like, you can, everybody's going to taste something different, you know, especially if, you know, if you're coming from dinner or you're chewing gum or something, there's always going to be different reactions. So what I want to say to people out there, like, you like what you like, and that's okay. Don't ever let anyone, you know, tell you that your taste is off or wrong or whatever. So if you like something if you like $2 Chuck, $2 Chuck is the jam. So keep doing it.
Yeah, I think that really does go for anybody. It's not about the dollars that you spend on a bottle. Although I will tell you, when you drink something like this, you can tell the time and the finesse that was put into making a wine like this. You know, this is not an inexpensive wine, but it also tastes like that too. Like.
Yeah, I mean, this is a piece of art. You know, this is a piece of art instead of, you know, super mass-produced wine. And I think that's what Fritz was getting at. That's the difference. This is your handcrafted, you know, heart and soul poured into craft type thing. Similar to SNC vodka.
Which we need. Have we sent anything to Steve yet?
Yes, I did get through that bottle rather quickly.
We gave it to him when he was in San Fran.
San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show there.
And I stashed it in my car when I went on vacation, and it was there waiting for me when I got back. Yeah, it was quite delicious.
Right. And you are a connoisseur of the vodka, so you.
I've been known to get through a bit. Yeah. Where would I find that locally?
You would not. We're working on that.
That's not very helpful.
It's not. We're working on figuring out how to get it into people's hands outside of Indiana. So
sure.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I mean, shipping spirits is quite difficult. And even wine's pretty challenging, but
yeah.
Anyway, earlier somebody said, "What are we tasting in this?" And then I think I went off on a tangent about something else. What's everybody tasting? Or even, what are you smelling before we get to the taste?
I'm getting a little cardamom, a little allspice.
You know, I always thought it was one of those pretentious terms when somebody said pencil lead.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some sort of pencil lead shavings in the nose. Kind of reminds me of grade school. You know, when we had real pencils, not those mechanical ones. A little bit of kind of rose petal in the nose.
You get like a very, very faint, sniff of like leather. Not as much as you'd get in like some of the cabs, but it's like back there.
That's part of that Pinot earthiness that you get on the nose, right?
Mm-hmm.
That leather, that pencil shaving, that sort of, sometimes it can be as big as like a barnyard.
That
this
finish
is a little more subtle.
And there's, I know it's what's 13.5, there's not a lot of burn on that. There's nothing. I mean, it is just smooth.
That's actually quite moderate for a California wine.
Yeah.
In Northern California, especially this vintage, we got a lot of ripeness. A lot of the Cabernets were pushing 15 and a half because we want them fully ripe, but this has that, there's a nice balance to the alcohol level.
Yeah, very low acidity.
The second glass is even more aromatic. I strongly urge you to try that.
I poured both first.
I mean, look at that.
Well, I was watching Steve was making the Cortini with the Straight No Chaser vodka. He was very, very light on the pour. So I was like, you know what? I'm not making that same mistake when we do our thing.
This stuff?
You'll never accuse me of a short
That's
pour.
I'm representing.
It's good.
Oh man, that's a nice dose. There's a little chocolate on that too, Steve. A little dark cocoa.
Yeah. Almost like the bitterness of like cocoa nibs. Not even, not a lot of dairy in there. More.
Just yeah.
We should plan ahead a little bit more next time and have some foods, either some dark chocolates or some
cheeses or salamis,
some cheeses or something that we can try to have across.
Dave, we've got this figured out. I've got the wine. You've got Gibson's.
Yeah.
Well, we just need to do a little, exchange here.
Yes. Happy to do it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's getting weird.
Seggy and I are not holding up any meat.
No, we already had dinner. Tonight we had a wonderful spaghetti squash with some sauteed asparagus, onions, mushrooms. What else? I think that's it. And a little bit of sauce.
What'd you pair with it?
Just water. I knew I was doing this, so just wanted to wait.
You knew you're going to pour yourself a full glass of moonshine?
Yeah. So having dinner with a 2.5-year-old and a infant almost gets a little wild. So I don't like to have red wine glasses out. So we usually don't open the wine until the kids are down.
I went fancy with the stem. When Sarah poured me the white burgundy earlier, it was in the stemless.
Yeah. So I posted a picture one time of some wine with a stemless glass, and someone commented like, "Hey man, you shouldn't be drinking that wine out of a stemless glass. Like it's really gonna ruin your experience." I was like, "Okay, bro, like let's
take it easy.
Chill out." Yeah.
Enjoying the wine is the experience. It doesn't matter.
I got 5 minutes to slam. I got 5 minutes to slam this glass of wine. What it's in isn't gonna matter.
Well, I think there is some glass shaming that goes on. I had a little shame even pouring into the glass that I poured the wine into because it's not a Pinot glass. But none of my glasses are unpacked, so they're still in boxes. So I've got to sort of use what I have at this point.
Well, you better come correct with the right glassware next week, Britt. So we're all going to call you on this.
Yeah, just shame me on the wrong glassware.
We've only got the red and the white. We don't have all the fancy ones that you
same
and Steve Gage there is sporting.
Guilty.
Oh, you know what Steve does? Steve, remember when we did those Riedel tastings?
Yeah, it's good fun.
I mean, there is a difference.
It's enlightening, and
pouring the same wine into different glasses. You mean?
Yeah, I did a seminar with the same wine in 3 different glasses.
Interesting.
And then you put the right wine in the wrong glass, and it's amazing. You can hear it almost. It's an audible sigh in the room when everybody realizes that it does make a difference.
It's all about the air, right? How the air gets into the wine and all that. Or
there's that, and also like this. I don't know if you can see the glass there. This shape of glass is tapered in almost like a pyramid, wide at the bottom, narrow at the top. So it captures the aromas better. And Pinot Noir without aroma doesn't really taste like much. Also, the height of the bowl there will dictate how far back the wine goes in your palate. A very short bowl, you can kind of tip it into your mouth. But this glass, you've really got to actively participate in the wine going into your mouth. You've really got to tip it back, goes further back on your tongue. So the whole science behind it.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
What if you're drinking straight from the bottle?
Glasses.
Well, I can't counter that. Yeah, it's straight from the bottle. It's going all the way straight to the back of your throat. Like the Truth vodka. That's kind of how I enjoyed it.
Exactly. Just
yeah, exactly.
Shameless
straight from the bottle.
Getting a lot of those chocolate, dark chocolate, cocoa finishes on, or flavors on the finish. Like a piece of dark chocolate would be incredible right now with this wine.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've got some.
Cool.
Sorry, I can't share.
How far can you throw?
not to Michigan.
Right.
I won't be rude and eat it in front of you.
Yes,
I mean,
you
you
will.
can. It's fine.
So Steve,
Well, it's all for science. Yeah.
Of the Moonshine portfolio, what is your personal favorite?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. We always like to say whatever the newest release is our favorite. Lately, the Page Cuvée Chardonnay is probably my favorite. And I know we make really big killer Cabernets, so people are shocked when I say that, but it's the wine that constantly reminds me that it's very, very special. Here in the land of Cabernet, I always say you can pull into any driveway and get a pretty good glass of Cabernet, but that's not always the same with Chardonnay.
I like that.
Corleones.
It's never
one of my
about
go-tos. Corleones is so good. I thought I had one of the blacklists in there, but I don't. So maybe that's my favorite because they're all gone.
Yeah, that's the best testimonial you could give us. Yeah.
Whichever one's open at the moment.
Yeah, that's true.
But that Chardonnay is something, man.
We'll have to do this over Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of dudes talking about Chardonnay.
Maybe,
So what?
maybe we do two wines next week. Maybe we do the Chardonnay and we do one other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, real quick.
Yes.
A bunch of dudes talking about Chardonnay. You know what we do for a living, right? Stigmas don't bother us.
Especially when wine's involved.
Right. Yeah, you'll have to do a whole Napa residency. I think that would be
Dangerous. Could be dangerous.
Well,
Steve,
dangerous your life. Yeah.
Steve, how many people have you introduced the Chardonnay to and they were resistant and then had it and were like, all right, you were right?
More people than not, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't give you an exact number, but it's pretty consistent that, even people say I only drink red wine, find something in that they like.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty special. Yeah. Wow. Kind of makes me want to go open a bottle of Chardonnay right now.
It's only 3:30 where you're at, so you got time.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So as this opens up a little bit more, I'm smelling a little green pepper.
I don't want to get disrupted live.
You can say hello. Hey, somebody wants to make a guest appearance.
Hello, Claudine. How you doing?
Guys, I love this idea.
Grab a glass
I
or a
was going to
bottle.
say.
This is such a great idea. David needs wine because we're both working and homeschooling and caretaking at the same time. But the fact that we're both working in the same office is all a thing in and of itself.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Who's more?
Oh yeah,
annoying in the
we're
office?
feeling that. We're feeling that here too. Sarah's
I know you
home.
guys.
Yeah, boys are here. Yeah,
It's wild. It's wild.
the new
Everybody's
normal for a
going through
while.
the same thing.
I was telling Jamie that I'm so thankful that our kids are not school aged, because
God. Yeah.
luckily our day-to-day really hasn't changed very much, although it does seem very much worse. I think it's a mental thing knowing that we can't go anywhere, do anything or see anybody, but our
Totally.
day-to-day hasn't changed at home. We still have the things we do with Leo and with Mila, but I couldn't imagine being a parent of a school-age kid and trying to make all that happen during the day. And that's coming from someone who, when I'm home, I'm not, doing another job for the majority of the day. I've got the stuff I'm doing here and there for the group, but I'm not working an actual job 9 to 5. I couldn't imagine. Cheers to those people, because that's brutal. And you know what? A toast to all the people in healthcare and the first responder
Yes.
people, all the people
Yes.
working. Because
Cheers to that.
those guys are the real heroes. Those men and women are crushing it for us right now. And, it's, I keep seeing that meme going around our great grandfathers had to leave and go to war, and all you're being asked to do is sit on the couch. We can do it. It shouldn't be we can do it. It should be shut up and stop complaining. Like, just turn the TV on, open some wine, and focus on what's really important, the people around you, Yeah. So I think that's something to keep in mind.
You got your
we're going
family around you. Like, how often do people get to do this, right? Like, people would love to be able to work from home, stay at home, and be with their family, and we're complaining about it.
Yeah.
Memes have been hilarious, though.
Yeah. The memes have been amazing. I'm not gonna lie. That's been the best. That's been the silver lining of all this. The memes have been great.
David's gonna send you guys some memes that we made. So enjoy.
I can't wait.
Good.
I would
look forward to seeing it.
The next time we taste wine, everyone has to bring a meme as well as a cheese.
Oh, I've got several text chains going with different memes. They're hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm down to about 10,000, I think. Yeah. It's good. Anyway.
It's really good. I told Jamie I'd save her some, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I know. I was just thinking I got to invite Sarah up here to have some wine, but
I think next time we should drink a bottle before we do the tasting, and then and then get on camera. No, I didn't.
I did.
It's 3:30 in LA.
Yeah, but I got up at 7:30. So.
I'm not talking about you, Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
This is your job.
Fair enough.
I don't know if we want to do that.
If it's a Friday thing, although at this point weekends have kind of gone out the window.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, question for you.
Yeah.
As we progress more into this, and even after we're, God willing, out of this quarantine situation, hopefully in the near future, if we move outside of the Moone Shy family of wines, are you still down to join us?
I would love to.
Great.
We think we make some pretty great wines, but so do all of our neighbors. And as long as we're all drinking great wine, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Yeah. So our idea was to kind of go through the friends list that we've, been so blessed to have out in Napa and Sonoma, and all the great people we've gotten to meet, and the great wine we've been introduced to because of those people. And you're a big part of that, obviously. So we're just going to kind of go down the list and, enjoy those people's wines together and talk about it. And if they get a little pub out of it, that's great, because that's what we want.
Great. But if nothing else, we all get to enjoy a glass of great wine.
Exactly.
Obviously we're not going to hang out the next few months, so this is
this is the hangout right here. Here we go.
This is a hang. It's just a different kind of hang.
Nobody's having this much fun anywhere else.
Right.
That's true. That is true. I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
Yeah, it's the social distancing hang.
Yeah, Jamie's got both kids right now, so she's definitely not having this much fun.
Funny. All right.
Well, this is great. Maybe we can invite representatives. Like Sagi said, we've got friends that fortunate enough to have a lot of friends over there, and obviously Steve, you're a big part of that. So maybe we can get somebody from each one of these wineries that we do. If we can keep doing this, I don't see why not. Maybe we can invite some of these people to join us. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Because I'm here in Napa, I can facilitate getting wines moved around so that everyone has the proper wine to try.
That'd be great.
So Steve, for everybody watching, you want to let people know where they can get more information on this wine?
Absolutely. Shameless plug, moonshai.com, MOONETSAI.com. And hey, we're in the world of social distancing. Call my cell phone, 707-477-0590.
Nice. Just dropping it out there. You're going to get ones of calls.
I give you the home address, but that's not legal. You can't come by, as it turns out.
Well, if you see him on Tinder, just Swipe right.
Thanks for the plug there.
Yeah, that number is also on many a bathroom walls. So
It will be now.
I'm running out of ink though. I've been writing it everywhere. Oh, it's terrible. But yeah, we're pretty small production, but the wines are certainly available. And another shout out to our friends at FedEx that are boldly going into every neighborhood dropping packages.
True that. Yeah.
And it's vital, for people getting medications, snacks, all the important things in life. And they still deliver wine. Yeah. So to my friends out there at FedEx, thank you.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, this is a great idea,
thanks.
guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Steve.
The idea is, that we'll do more of these. I mean, ideally, we're doing at least one a week, if not two. And then, we invite our friends, and I think we can, we can have up to 50 people. Obviously, that'll get a little cumbersome, but I think if we have 4 to 6 people, it provides for a nice conversation and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or we get all 50 and see who finishes the bottle first.
That's a different thing altogether.
Not this kind of wine, though. We got to go with a different wine if that's the objective.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I got wine for that too.
We all do.
The last bottle, $10 jobber.
Yeah,
that's right.
Trader Joe.
A lot of that.
Trader Joe special.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm telling you,
we need to stock up. So you need all kinds. But Friday night, thank you for opening the good stuff.
Yeah, Steve,
Yeah.
you know what was funny? I don't know if you're seeing this too. I was reading some, I read a lot of wine news and just sort of beverage news in general. And a lot of the wine shops around the country were saying people that would go in and, buy, a few bottles a week are going in and buying cases because of they're just making sure that they're stocked up. Are you sort of seeing and sensing the same thing from other industry partners?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a stock up mentality on all things.
Right.
And those of us that like wine are terrified. What if we run out? What do you do?
I mean, it would be scary.
You switch to Straight-O Chaser vodka.
Well done.
Thank you.
Played. A lot of the local Napa restaurants, they're limited to doing takeout only. They're actually offering wines off their lists at really good prices. So you can drive up, pick up, a couple of steaks and bottle of wine. It's brilliant. It's keeping business open. So.
Yeah. And speaking of keeping business open, supporting, these wineries, supporting restaurants, getting takeout, doing what you can to keep these folks going is so vital because, if you look at the industry that was most affected, it's the restaurant industry and the hospitality industry.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and my wife works for the Gibson's Restaurant Group. I'm a fan, and also, we depend on them for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, I joke around a lot about Gibson's, but I posted earlier about how they've committed to paying all of their employees as long as they can, and that is something to be commended and held up as an example. So, again, 50% off Gibson steaks. Buy them, take them home, cook them yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been kind of hilarious at our house. I mean, our freezers and refrigerator are fully stocked, and we've got everything. We didn't go out and hoard a bunch of stuff, but we've got food. But I've still been ordering delivery and carry out because it's important that these places stay open, because when this is all over, we're going to, be back to relying on these places for a night out, a date night, all that kind of stuff. It's, like David was saying, it's important to help these small businesses out, and try to keep them going as long as we can, until we get through this.
Absolutely.
This one's
Guys,
for Sarah. She's being shy. She's staying out of camera.
Hi, Sarah.
Everybody says hi.
Was she being Moone shy?
Well, it's going to be broadcast on Facebook Live or Facebook later.
4 people are going to watch this, so it's going to be great. And one person will make it this far.
No, yeah, I want to see
exactly.
who gets
Nobody's
through
making
the
it this
full
far.
thing.
Well, gents, I hate to do this. I'm going to have to run on you.
I think that's
Well,
a good
that's
note.
good. No, I think it's a good time to sort of wrap the recording and,
Okay.
and, you know, say hopefully we see everybody next week. We'll do this again. It's
Yeah.
been fun. We'll figure
Stay
it out.
healthy.
I can't wait. And
Cheers.
if we can't wait a week, then talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too.
Later,
All right,
buddy.
gang. You guys are the best.
Later, guys.
Well,
All right, Steve.
All right.
stay safe.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.